Hello and welcome again to our AOPP Thursday Live. I'm Jerry Dreessen, Executive Director at the Association of PEMF Professionals. And I want to welcome those of you that are first timers. And of course, those of you that have been watching our live broadcast now for quite a while and are part of the AOPP. And let's just jump right into it today. What I'd like to do is continue our talk on the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And today we're going to be talking about the what, as far as what does PEMF do. And I know some of you have taken courses to learn all about it. Some of you have done research, gone online, visited our website to learn about the what. And I'm going to be probably jumping from the very smallest what to some of the very, very largest what, I guess. And it's more of an overview. So those of you that eat, sleep, and drink PEMF know what this is all about. Those of you that may have just stumbled on this video, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and are wondering a little bit more about it. Hang on, it's going to be a fun ride. So let's jump into this. This is, again, part of our 5-part series, and it is number 2 of our 5 parts. So last week we did the who, which you can find in our Facebook feed or YouTube. So we're jumping into the what, and let me just jump in here. I like to pop in people's comments as they show up. So Ashley, hello. Good morning from the East Coast. All right. And of course, I'm over here on the West Coast. So we've just covered the entire United States in just a flash of a hello. But anyways, we've got our series here. And let me just go right on down our slides. And, what does PEMF do? And again, we've got plants, we've got animals, we've got humans, and we've got this natural magnetic field. That's what makes our planet unique. And because of that unique field, that's what all life thrives inside of. In fact, if you were to get rid of this magnetic field, life wouldn't exist. It's because of this magnetic field, and of course the oxygen and stuff, but this is one of the things that provides help. Ashley, yeah, sorry, New England. Yep. I was thinking way out on the end. So yes, thank you for that correction. But anyways, without this field, we would be nowhere. And that's kind of what the originators of building this out and testing it found out. And so they tested this theory out on plants, and seeds germinated healthier, the plants were healthier. So that was the forefathers of PEMF. And then of course they brought that into the animal side, and then the human side. And one of the things they found is if they went way down into the cellular level, so inside our cells are organelles, and that's what these little tiny things are inside there, and like the nucleus and the Golgi tendons or the Golgi bodies. And each thing has its own purpose. And deep inside of those are these things called the mitochondria. And the mitochondria, they're everywhere inside a cell. In fact, each cell can contain anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500 mitochondria. So you can imagine these little bodies inside there, and their main job is to create energy. And what it does, there's this component called ATP. It starts out as ADP, so it's a diphosphate, and then it turns into a triphosphate, adenosine diphosphate and adenosine triphosphate. It binds a phosphate, and so it takes energy to bind that phosphate, but then it spits it out as ATP, and then that's what our body uses. This is like the gasoline of the body for the body. So we run on ATP. Without it, our body doesn't do what it should do. It can't heal properly. It can't function properly. It can't help blood cells bind the oxygen to, bring health. Doesn't It helps the enzymes create enzymes, help the anterior posterior pituitary do what it's supposed to do. Everything that your body does needs this. Just think of a car without gasoline. With a car with gasoline, everything in that car is going to work properly, but without it, that's its main source of fuel. So I think I beat that one to a pulp. So if you can increase the mitochondria activity, then it also increases nitric oxide. And again, nitric oxide is one of those components that is a source of energy for our body too. People know that as beets. Beets is a high source of nitric oxide. There are test strips that you can get and test your nitric oxide level, and then you can actually take those components that build that up. And we know that people that have normal to high levels of the nitric oxide have the healthier bodies, because that's another component that helps detoxify. It helps helps our immune system destroy the bad things in our body too. So when you are looking at PEMF now, with that little bit of background, PEMF is an invisible, harmless frequency that is tuned to Earth's magnetic field frequency, which has been demonstrated in the lab to improve the health of the cell and tissue. It also improves blood flow to areas that may have been harmed or damaged from an injury. So there's this device that does all of this. Of course, we can't openly see it on a human while they're alive. We've got certain things, certain aspects now where we can see that. And Dr. Bard, I think you've seen some of his work where he can show increased blood flow while PEMF is being used, which is last year was when he started doing that, which is a great win for us, demonstrating what it does. But you can see now that if we can take the Earth's magnetic field and put it in a box and be able to place that over an area that needs to have health brought back to it, we can target these areas and magnify the amount of PEMF in that person or that animal, or germinating those seeds for a better outcome. The reason why is, just even being in a house, I have limited the amount of natural magnetic flow. Again, if you're wearing rubber shoes, you're not grounded properly. If you're not walking barefoot in the grass outside, you're limiting yourself. Even the clothes that you wear. So, if you can imagine people that spend 90% of their life inside buildings, whether it's work or home, those are literally blocking you from getting access to these things. And again, in our world with injuries, just even with health issues, to be able to magnify taking that, putting on your system to help increase your body's health is part of what is, so to speak. And then also, PEMF works to help accelerate the ability of cells and tissues to heal faster. And that's through the mitochondria that we just went through, by tapping into the natural healing frequency. And this additional support allows cells and tissues to regenerate quicker and reduces the stress on the cells achieved through the stimulation. So there's the broad, statement of what PEMF does. And then there's the super, down into the cellular structure of what it does. And there are a couple of really good docs that are out there. Dr. Amanda, you're one of them, who does a great talk on the Krebs cycle. And that's the certain key points of that Krebs cycle where the ATP, ADP junction and how PEMF helps accelerate that provides this kind of health. Now, in the health of the cell, we call that cellular respiration, but magnetic pulses are delivered in short sessions. It's a nanopulse. So it's not like a magnet. When you put a magnet on you, it's a direct constant. And this is a nanopulse that's very short, and it's tuned in to Earth's magnetic field. Some companies have it so that it is varying frequencies based on certain areas that you want to work on, as opposed to just the general one. So some of them have actually broken down the different frequencies. And those of you that have those products, you know more about that than I have had a chance to learn about. But also, as far as blood flow, PEMF increases the rate at which your body breaks down food and chemical energy, providing more fuel for cell functions. And it doesn't increase your blood, it increases the blood flow. And it's a healthier blood that goes through. And that's exactly what it does, is it delivers nutrients. And in order for it to absorb and pick up and carry, it requires fuel. And that's what the ATP does. Now, as far as inflammation, PEMF, what does it do? Well, PEMF therapy accelerates the flow of oxygen and nutrients into the cells, which aids healing and recovery. Those of you that use PEMF on injuries, you know all about that. I've seen at one of the conventions that I went to, there was a presentation done on a horse's hoof that was going to be put down, but they used PEMF on it, and they were able to take this damaged foot, and they took a series of x-rays during the course of its care, and the hoof literally regenerated itself, the broken areas. And the final slide or the final video was the horse walking around, and it was a great study that was done. And that's what we see in our clinic too, people putting it over areas of injury and having that inflammation shut down, but not because it's an analgesic. Again, we talk about PEMF is not an aspirin. It's not an analgesic. It doesn't numb the area. The reason the pain isn't there anymore is because the pain isn't there anymore. The body's innate, its own ability to help reduce and heal is accelerated by using PEMF. Another thing that with PEMF is that the therapy sessions create an influx of anti-inflammatory proteins and compounds, such as cytokinase, haptoglobin, and heme oxygenase to reduce pain and swelling. So those are some great keywords to search out. Again, PEMF doesn't create that. It helps your body generate those things by giving it the fuel and the sources, the resources that it can go get to help build these things, because the healing is actually done by the innate. The body knows that it needs to fix things. Like when you cut yourself, how does it know how to bleed? How does it know how to form a scab? How does that scab know how to heal? There's this information in our body on how that's all done. And again, PEMF helps create the situation for that to happen faster. And for some people, their immune systems are weakened through the foods that they eat, through the jobs that they have. And this is a great booster for that too, in my opinion. We talked about in another series how PEMF affects the brain, the bone, and the body. If those of you haven't seen that, that's a great one to go through. Go a little bit more in depth on how PEMF helps out with these specific areas too. Coming down the road here. And again, if you are interested in PEMF, or if you have one and you want to learn more about it, that's what our international organization is all about. We're in 17 countries with our membership, and we have certification programs, whether it's just general PEMF or you want to learn about how to begin working on small animals or large animals or humans. We have those certification programs as well. If you bought a PEMF device from a company that doesn't do certifications or doesn't do education, talk to them. We're working with a couple of manufacturers that are going to be using our education system to help them with their clients when they purchase PEMF, which is why we are here. We're here for you. And we now have, we talked about this last week, but we have a new website for those of you that have been waiting. It's here. Our Pulsed Electromagnetic Field Professionals website, the AOPP. And again, learning more about the what, you can go under our banner here and grab PEMF research. So a lot of things I'm talking about today, you can find in the research articles. It depends on how deep of a rabbit hole you want to dive into as far as what you learn from it, but it is available currently for anybody that jumps on in and is looking for information on PEMF. And then also the other thing that we want to do is to help us help you. Those of you that know what's going on in the world, some of the veterinary boards are limiting who can use PEMF, even though people can use PEMF on themselves and animals, but they want to prohibit you from using it on another animal that's not yours. And so we have a petition that's out there, and it's on change.org. This is the QR code, so you can scan it right now with your phone. It'll take you to that. As of yesterday, we had 874 signatures, which again is a bump up from where we were. Our next goal, of course, is 1,000. And anytime we do a broadcast like this and you share it, we usually get about a 200 signature bump. So please share this with people. And that's what we're asking you to do, is just ask others to sign the petition, because I think 99% of our members have done this, which is awesome. We really appreciate those of you that have gone out there and done that. Even if you're in another country, signing this petition will help, because if it's not happening in your neck of the woods, it may. So if we can get this stopped before it becomes a major issue. Right now, there's 3 states that have done this, that have limited it. Your help will definitely help you out, so you can help yourselves out, but it also helps us help you by getting the word out. We have other things going on. If you don't know much about what's going on with the petition, you can do a search on our Facebook page, and there's a couple of broadcasts that we did where it goes in depth. There's even a letter you can download and redraft and sign and send back. So lots of great information there. And with that, that concludes our live stream today on what does PEMF do. Hopefully I've given you a little bit more insight on the science side, as well as, how it helps the body out. And when you look at PEMF, when it says that it helps blood flow or it helps the body heal itself, you'll have a little bit more in-depth knowledge on the science side as to why that happens. Again, some other things you can do. Please like and share this video. If it's on YouTube, grab it, share it. Facebook, you can, share it with your friends, or you can just grab the link and drop it in an email to somebody that's doing PEMF where they might want to take a look at it. Becoming part of our organization is definitely one of the great ways that we can solidify what's going on. Back on our website, if I jump back in there, there is a directory where people can find members, and that's live and that's working. And again, we have people that are members can earn or get to be part of a system where they get discounts on travel, things like that. So you can take a look at that. So some great reasons to become a member. And all you have to do is jump onto the website and you can join there. If you have any questions, contact us at info@pemfprofessionals.com. If you have any tips, like if you're getting a rumor of a vet board that's talking about whether they want to close down who can and can't use PEMF, let us know, because the sooner we can get in there and educate and remove some of a lot of times it's just education, what we do and what it's all about, especially if you are a certified person, you've gone through training on how to do these things. That's why we want to be able to touch base with these people too. So with that, thank you again for your time. And I will see you again next week, where we jump into our next part of the who, what, when, where, why, and it'll be the when of PEMF. Like, when should you use it? Basically, best practices. So with that, thank you so much. Jump on if you haven't signed the petition, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Take care.